Hey there, welcome back. I'm Tara. I garden here at Wild Bird Farm in Zone 5 in central Iowa. I was actually going to skip filming this week and give myself a little bit of a break, but I'm going to see a friend today and she was talking all about the bouquets I made for the retail store last week. So I thought I would surprise her with a bouquet, and I thought, why not? Let's set up the camera while I do this. So join me today as we put that quick bouquet together. So my friend actually complimented two specific things in this bouquet. One is the amaranth. This is hot biscuits. I have a lot of that. I have a little bit of the red. I think it might be red poker as well. The key to amaranth, to be able to use it in a small bouquet, is planting it very close together. This particular patch was saved seed, and I sprinkled it very heavily in rows. You can see it's maturing now. Some of these are still a little bit big to use in regular bouquets, but I'm hoping that I'll have some florists that want some larger pieces for some installations. So that is the goal here. I did pick just a few sprigs here that we're going to use in our bouquet. The other thing she talked about when she saw these bouquets I posted was the filler. She didn't know what it was, but she said, that's more beautiful than eucalyptus, and she just loved it. So I wanted to show you what I used and why it's my favorite filler this time of year to go with the dahlias. Did you guess what filler I was talking about? It's Sweet Annie. Now I've been using this for several months. I was using it before it formed its little seed pods. But now in late August, early September, it has those seed pods and they just glisten and glow in a bouquet. It takes a little bit more to hydrate before it gets the seed pods, but when it gets these seeds on it, it is pretty much indestructible. I'm hoping the light is catching it a little bit. Now this, like a lot of herbs, I've heard a few people don't care for the smell. I think it's fine. It's a light herby, maybe a little bit lemony smell. But I also love basil. I like lemon basil. I like cinnamon basil. And I know some people don't care for that. So if you're real sensitive to some of those herby smells, maybe just plant a few to see if you like it. I have probably a 12-foot section here that I started from seed, and we are in my reseeder and perennial bed. So this is the bed that I want to regenerate itself year over year. I have a bunch of buckwheat cover crop here just past the Sweet Annie, but I plan on putting in an entire row of this next year. I really feel like I can't get enough of it. So let's grab a few pieces of this. So today we're going to work in mostly groups of 3. I'm going to use 3 amaranth, 3 of these for filler. I'm going to grab 3 white cosmos, and then we're going to pick a few dahlias. And that is all these market bouquets were, but they did turn out pretty stunning. So let's get the rest of our harvesting done. I mostly plant the afternoon white, which I've gotten from Johnny's, or the double click white cosmos. The double click sometimes have a little wobblier head, but I do like to use them because they're really fluffy and beautiful. I've let this patch get a little bit away from me. I really need to come out and do a hard cut back so I can get about another month worth of production. I've got a couple kinds of beetles, Japanese and the corn rootworm beetles on these. They do like cosmos, so I'm usually picking them when they're just opening. But since I want this to be a wow bouquet when I take it today, I'm harvesting them a little more open. These are too spent. I'm going to throw these, but I wanted you to see how fluffy they get. Otherwise, I harvest them at this stage for like the day of. There's a bug right in there. Otherwise, I harvest them when they're just opening. Like if you can see this, like just where you can see that they're going to be white. All right, let me get these stripped and we'll head. Oh, I forgot about the Celosia. I did have some Celosia in there. We'll pick those and then we'll head over to the Dahlias. I have a couple kinds of Celosia. I have the Selway terracotta that I used in those bouquets. So I think I'm going to keep with that theme and cut probably just 3 stems of the Celosia. Usually in market bouquets, I'll use 3. Sometimes I'll use 5 if I think I need to beef up the bouquet a little bit. But this one, I think we're going to add a few extra dahlias. These actually have soldier beetles on them, which are a beneficial garden bug, so I'm leaving those alone. But if you have a Celosia in the center that is a little too far gone, if it's creating seeds, I just snip it out. All right, one more good looking stem here. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is grab a few dahlias. I'm thinking maybe 5 or 7. In my market bouquets, I'm closer to the 3 or 4 range. But I think I'm going to beef these up a little bit for her bouquet. I've really been using a lot of the Rose Toscano. Lots of times when I'm putting bouquets together, I'm using pretty bright and contrasting colors. But today we're going to go a little bit more monochromatic. So I'm going to pick a few of these Rose Toscano, and then I have some more peach and yellows in the second row. So we're just going to see what looks best today. I put organza bags on the majority of these, but I have some this year that are not getting bug eaten. So I'm just kind of going with it. I'm using the organza bags for most things, but I'm not freaking out if I miss a couple. And this one is a little bit eaten up. We're going to skip that one. This one looks good. Rose Toscano is on the small side, but I really love it as an accent dahlia, and it's prolific. It's putting out a lot of blooms. The majority of this first row, so I would say maybe 20-ish feet, is this variety, but I'm getting a lot of blooms off of it. Now there are bugs on this one, but I don't see any damage. I grabbed a couple larger ones. This one is Darcy. Now, Darcy last year was almost pure yellow, but it definitely has some peachy orange undertones this year. And this one, I believe, is Lark's Ebb. And I think this one might have been a little bit deeper coloring last year. But really pretty as well. All right, let's go look at what we picked and how we're going to put it together. So we picked 5 very simple complementary color ingredients, and I'm just going to put them together real quick in my hand, and then I even brought a vase out. We'll plop it in there and we'll call it good. So I am just building the bouquet, sort of using the ingredients, kind of making that spiral a little more informal. Trying to just keep the ingredients pretty easily spaced. And if they get too close together, like the Celosia, I'll pull it out and redo it. We've got 2 more cosmos, and then we have our dahlias. Now I will float the cosmos a little bit above. And then put our large dahlias opposite each other, a little bit low in the bouquet. And then we'll take our 3 supporting dahlias and just fill in. And I think one I'm going to feed right down the center here. It's getting windy quickly out here. All right, those are our ingredients. Do a little fussing, a little pulling and moving, a little tucking. I think that looks pretty good. Now I have to go find my snips. I'll be right back. Now usually I'd have a table to do this, but approximately double the height of your vase or a little bit taller. So I don't think I really need to take too much off of these. I'm going to drop it right in the vase. What do you guys think? I think I saw a hole over here a little bit. Just going to reposition the dahlia a little bit there. What do you think? Sometimes I don't quite know how to use amaranth in bouquets. Sometimes this hot biscuit doesn't really go with sunflowers that great. Sometimes I'll put it with the orange ones. But I think it looks really nice in this bouquet. I think of amaranth as maybe a little bit less fancy flower, but it really looks nice with these dahlias. Let me know if you're using Sweet Annie for filler this time of year or what your favorite green filler is with your dahlias. I'll see you next time.